I was by a friend of mine's home yesterday, and guess what I saw on his table? A copy of Rick Warren's book. I said, what's that? He said, it's a purpose-driven book. I read a chapter a day. I said, what? But there it is. But the person used to go to church with me, used to read the Bible, reading the purpose-driven life, because that's what the media, that's what they tell you to do. So they've set their agenda. Now, how do these people do the things that they do so easily? By suppressing information that is vital for you to do life. The information that we really need, and I'm just not talking about, because if you want God's view on it, read God's Word to find out what God's view is. That's where I got into a little back and forth with a brother a couple weeks ago, because the brother tried to tell me that I had a personal religious hero that I like to listen to. And I had to tell the brother, I don't have heroes that I listen to. I only go to God's Word. That's what you have to do. How do we get to this place so easily? By placing our values in the life of someone else, and then they make us feel guilty when we don't comply with what they say. I want to tease Greg. Greg says, in your living room you need 2 more pictures on the wall. I told him, don't be coming in here and telling me what I need in my house. Oh, you need some pictures, da, 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 da. Now, when he said that, I hope he was playing. But you know what? That went right over my head. Because nobody can make me feel guilty. I'm not going into your house and tell you what you need to do. I know I'm not going to tell you. Because if I do, I will get told quickly, don't come to my house telling me what to do. Why do we allow people to let us feel guilty? You see, we do that because we think that it's nice. I was telling somebody this week, I said, those days are over. That I'm going to let anybody make me feel guilty about their shipwrecked lives. I don't do that. How else do we do it? These people are the architects of public opinion. They influence an enormous amount of people. I'm saying they're not going to influence me. They're more visible, and so therefore they're to be believed. See, that's what the media is all about. You know what? I didn't know that they had a Gucci wallet for men. I saw my first Gucci wallet yesterday. The man pulled out his wallet, and I said, what is that? Oh man, this is a Pavachi, Gucci, whatever. And I said, what? And I pulled out mine, and it was just a regular yellow leather. Man, we are, wait a minute. And I told you about the man that his plucked eyebrows. I said, oh my goodness, we are so fashionable now. It is a different world altogether. What is the implication of all this in our lives? We need to know that information that we receive has been pre-influenced by powerful individuals. They are lying to you. They are lying to me. It is stuff to make you think this is what you need.
Create the need.
Creating the need in the individual, because we are a consumer-driven society. Now, we happen to be Christians in the midst of this. I mean, we got to get this. We got to get that. I mean, it's amazing. You go to the shoe stores now. You can get 2 pairs for 1 price. There was a time when you can get 1 pair of shoes. But now you're going in, and then they'll have, hey, for $25 more, we'll give you a 3rd pair. And you walk out with 3 pairs of shoes, didn't even need 1. And you get home and you got them in your closet, and you know it's right, Mike, you haven't even wore them yet. They're just there. And you said, look, and then when you die, they're going to put them all out on the front lawn and have a sale out there and sell the pair for $5. Yeah, I know, because they'll probably be out there selling all my stuff. That's where we are today. This information has been filtered, shaped, packaged, and hidden with values and ideas. Thus, if you are not suspect the reality of the words really take on another meaning to the ignorant and unlearned. If you don't know what's going on out there, you know, you've got to know what's going on out there at all times. And then, of course, there's the danger of philosophical pluralism. What is that? That's the second dangerous force. Well, that we don't have to worry about things beyond what we're doing because there is no divine orchestrator of our lives. That's what this philosophical pluralism is. I don't have to believe, like one of my children told me recently, the story that you and Mommy taught us about God since we've gotten educated is kind of antiquated. That story doesn't work in our lives because we are not from the same generation that you're from. You know, I find this interesting because when a person finds themselves in a crisis situation, they usually call him the same God I call him. So that doesn't make any sense. They say that the Bible is not the sole rule for moral behavior and the scriptures cannot be depended upon now or in the future because there's something more out there to be seen. There's something more to experience. I've changed as an older man. I'm mellowed out. But I know that there's nothing more. This is the way the preacher put it. He said, there is nothing new under the sun. Absolutely none. Something else. The 190-year biblical ethic in our society, when applied within its proper context, does not work any longer. They don't do it. You can see it in the marriage vows. They don't mention God, and they would not dare have the woman mention a word about submitting to the man. They don't even do that. As a matter of fact, the couples write their own words out for the marriages. They come and they give that to the so-called preacher, and the hireling gets up there and he's reading the words. What the preacher should do, he says, these are not my words, these are their wishes, and they're paying. And then when people in the audience laugh, the preacher should say, keep laughing. Wait until you hear this. And then he reads it. Do you da-da-da-da-da promise to da-da-da? Yes. It's ridiculous. That's the society that we live in. That because of this age of advancement, one can clearly question not one thing, but everything. Everything is to be questioned now in this society. Everything. Now, there's a difference between questioning something and looking with inquiry into something deeply. You know, I've been looking deeply into things deeper in my Christianity in the past 2 or 3 months than I've ever looked in it before. And I found some things that I used to believe because I believed it because some theologue said it. But as I look deeply into that, I am finding out that something else is true. So I'm not talking about changing my faith or anything like that, but I question what a preacher tells me. Let me give you an example. If a preacher tells you God made the male and female, listen close. God made the male and female, right? And so if a preacher gets up and says, since God made the male and female, that meant that every male and female on the planet has to get married and procreate. What would you answer? What would you answer? And give me a Bible verse. All right, Bob thinks he can answer this. Let's hear it.
Not true that everyone is supposed to marry and procreate, because Paul says that he was celibate, and he said, if you can remain celibate and serve the Lord only, fine, but it's better to marry than to burn.
Yes. And remember he said, I wish that you were just like I myself am. See what I mean? And so see, we have scripture. And so when the preacher says, oh, all of you should. And that's how we strengthen our spirit.